G'day guys, and welcome to this week's episode of Simply Fit, and it's a bit of a new format today. It's a Q&A style podcast, I want to call it, or just answering questions. Before I get into it, I just want to say thanks for all the support with the YouTube, the Instagram and everything. Continue to support by subscribing to the channel, leaving comments, liking videos. Go over to my Instagram at simplyfit.goal. Can you please follow that as well? I've got heaps of content that I'm putting out. I'll make little reels of all this stuff. But basically today I put up a question on my Instagram feed saying I want to start like a podcast. So I'll explain that firstly. My idea behind it is to do short videos where if I ask questions in my Instagram or in the comment section in YouTube, would be great if you put comments in this video. Any questions you want about bodybuilding or the fitness lifestyle in general or whatever really, I'll answer anything. I don't have any off topics or out of bound topics. I'm fairly knowledgeable in most areas of training, and if I don't know something, I'll research and I'll tell people that I don't know it, but I just like to have a crack and love this industry. So that's why I came up with this idea of doing this Q&A style podcast. But to become a podcast, I want to have guests on. So I'm looking into how I can set that up so I can have guests and talk to them and whatnot. I have a really good guest that I want to get up first, which is Terry Roberts, who's was a NABBA pro, still is a NABBA pro. And she's a fantastic women's figure bodybuilder. She'd have so many stories from the 90s, 2000s that's going to take up a whole series, I reckon. So I'm going to get that started where I have a conversation with her, break it down into 30-minute segments, and we move on from there. And every time just discuss maybe another competition she's done, her prep for it. Funny stories of she had Ron Partlow living with her back in the 2000s, and just stuff like that. Funny life stories that she's got to do with bodybuilding. That's my idea with the podcast. So if you like that idea, can you put that in the comments or just let me know what you think. Still thinking of names for the podcast. Again, I'm up for suggestions for that. I thought things like Fit Talk or Simply Fit Talk or something with the name Simply Fit in it. I thought Simply Shit Talk, but we'll have to do the little stars to get rid of the shit word. Something catchy, even Simply Fit Podcast, it could be the way to go. But anyway, let's get over that bit and get into some questions. I only got a few questions on my Instagram little thing. So first question I got was, do fat burners actually work in helping with fat loss? So I'm going to keep these questions pretty short so I can do some reels out of them, but I want to still obviously explain. So
many hours later,
fat burners come in a couple of forms, whether it be in powder or in tablet form. And of course you get it in drinks and all that stuff, which is, been liquidized. So they work on three ways. So number one, they help to boost your internal body temperature and your metabolism. Number two, they promote a fuller feeling in your stomach by adding fiber or a fiber substance to the fat burner to create a gel-like substance in your stomach, which helps you keep fuller for longer. And number three, they help to maintain a steady blood sugar level throughout the day. So getting into that a bit further, which with the body temperature and raised metabolism, the stimulants such as the caffeine, which are found in most fat burners, raise your blood pressure. Higher blood pressure means higher heart rate, you're burning more calories. Simple as that. When you're doing cardio and you get 130 beats per minute on the exercise bike, you're burning calories. If you take a fat burner and it's raising your heart rate to 90 instead of 80, you're burning more calories. So that's basically how that works. The stimulants that are in the fat burner raise your heart rate, raise your internal body temperature, which then creates the fat burning effect. They don't burn fat, they create the effect. Ingredients that come in fat burners, most ingredients are caffeine, L-carnitine, green tea, conjugated linoleic acid, and chromium perchlorate. So all these ingredients are in most fat burners, and they help to create that effect on your body, those three things. Your internal temperature raised, your heart rate raised, your feeling of fullness through that gel-like substance that's made through the fiber that's been added to them, and to the blunting effect of your insulin. So, you know, blood sugar levels steady all day, no spikes, no crashes, should absorb your food a lot better. So yes, they do work, but they are a supplement. So keep them as that. Use your diet to lose weight. They don't actually burn fat though. They help create the process to burn the fat. So hopefully that clears up a little bit. I can go in more depth in this stuff in longer videos if you like, but I think that's pretty good. My second one is, what does creatine do and is it worth taking? So number one, creatine comes from most foods. So red meat, fish, seafood, milk, and supplements, of course. So what it does is it speeds up your muscle recovery, it repairs small tears, and it activates satellite cells within the muscle. So it helps produce, it's called adenosine triphosphate. So your ATP is your energy molecule in your body. So when you run and sprint and lift weights, whatever, your initial energy is ATP. It's called adenosine triphosphate. And as you fatigue, like we all know when we're doing, say, bench press, and you're doing a few reps and you start to get more sore and you lose your strength and everything is starting to go, that's your adenosine triphosphate breaking down to adenosine diphosphate. So it goes from ATP to ADP. That is your lactic acid. That is all your byproducts of being fatigued, breaking down and causing the muscle to fail. What creatine does is it helps produce that ATP or that energy faster, replenish it faster, and recover faster. So by having it in your diet, by supplementing with it, you're going to reproduce ATP much faster. You're going to replenish it faster when you've broken it down during the set. So you might be able to do 1 or 2 more reps or recover quicker or do 1 or 2 more sets. And it will help to clear out that adenosine diphosphate from your system back to adenosine triphosphate. So yes, creatine is really worth taking. It's cheap. You can get most creatine, you know, for $20 for a kilo or so in Australia. So very cheap. Quickly talking about dosages. So creatine is probably one of the most researched supplements ever. There's heaps of research into it. Well, one more thing, it does is creatine increases the cellular water within the muscle. So it gives you more water to the muscle, which means better pumps, more nutrients travel to that muscle, more room for growth, overall better performance, less chance of cramps. People will say that if you have creatine, you're going to get fat and hold water weight. That's not true. You will maybe be heavier on creatine because your muscles are more volumized with water, but that's going to be more close to your true body weight. You're not going to be dehydrated and your muscles are going to be properly hydrated, therefore potentially you will be heavier. So yes, you may be heavier, you're not going to hold water and become fat. So back to the price of creatine, about $20 for a kilo. What that does is, back when it first came out, big companies were saying you have to load creatine. So they were doing all these protocols, which is, you know, off the top of my head, it was like 10 grams the first day, 15 grams the second day for a few days, 20 grams, 30 grams, or whatever it is, up to, you know, a couple of weeks. Then they'll say, then cycle off it, do that again, like a couple of weeks on, a couple of weeks off, you know, throughout the time. The way they did that was to get more sales and to sell more creatine and make you buy it more often. So there is no loading protocol required, and I bet you'll have people that watch this to say that I'm full of it and that that isn't true, but it's true. There is no loading protocol required for creatine. So the best thing to do is your body will absorb around about 7 grams of creatine effectively per dose. So what I like to do is just do 10 grams a day split over 2 meals. So I'll do 5 grams in my pre-workout shake and I'll do 5 grams in my post-workout shake. So I'm getting 10 grams over those 2 shakes, my body's absorbing 6 or 7 of them, and I do that every day, and I've been doing that for the last probably 10 months or so, and I tell you, the strength's better, the size is better, the look of the muscles better, everything's better. And before that, I was sporadically on creatine, so I am very religious of taking it now every day, and I've seen the benefits. So definitely creatine's worth it. You should go get some. It's cheap. It's one of the best supplements you can get, value for money. Just go get it, add it to your repertoire of training aids, and you won't regret it. So hopefully that's a little bit of advice for creatine. And my next question was, how much gear are you pinning? So I was waiting for that question. That's hilarious. I have nothing against anabolic steroids at all. I think that if you're in the sport of bodybuilding, it's inevitable that you will try some sort of enhancing substance to get the most out of your physique. I think the people who do it are completely within their right to do it. But for me, the risk to reward ratio outweighs it, and being a little bit older, having kids, having a family, I come to that crossroad, years ago, whether I would go enhanced, which, people say enhanced or natural, or stay natural, and I chose to stay natural years ago, and mainly for the longevity of the sport. I don't want to burn out, while I'm young and not be able to do this long term. So I like to be able to train all the time, to, diet and get the most out of my body naturally without doing any enhancement. But that being said, like I said, nothing against it. I think it's part of the sport. It's widely discussed now. If you've got genetics to be the best in the world and you're already that 1%, you need to do it to compete with the big boys. So I'm happy doing the natural competitions, staying natural, and moving and progressing as much as I can, and maintaining a look year round that enhanced bodybuilders can't, because they can't be on year round, and if they are, they're going to cook themselves. So yeah, good question. Again, I know a lot about steroids. I know how a lot of them work, the compounds, the ways they work in your body, and the benefits and side effects of them. So if there's any questions regarding them, let me know as well, because I'm happy to discuss most things if I know about it and have a crack. Next question was, are you doing a podcast? So I went over that at the start of the video. Yes, I want to do a podcast, and I want to set it up soon. And that's the questions done, guys, for today. So if you have any other questions, put it on the comment section. Message me on Instagram. I'll put a post up every week or so of some questions. But hopefully this has been something a bit different. And until next time, keep flexing.